We have a new global elite, the teachers of the magic schools, those who have figured out the secrets of the temple and the alchemical transformation formulas and have done what's necessary to elevate ourselves outside and beyond the limitations of the human form. That's the new elite. And as I'm watching myself enter into this elite, the recognition of something feeling not quite right came front and center. And the idea of the magic school boards of directors and those who understand and know how life really works and will now share with everyone else their access to truth to help them ascend, to help them complete themselves, to help them live the pure spiritual life, struck me as another blue pill, not red pill. And I thought, oh, I'm getting caught up in this. And I better get out of it. I have been practicing to join this elite since I was in my 20s without even knowing it. And then the work, I'd say, phase began on September 20th of 2020 at 5 a.m. with the knock knock moment. Knock knock. If you've seen The Matrix, that's what that is. Knock knock. Wake up, Neo. The Matrix has you follow the white rabbit. And the answer is, I would prefer not to, but what the hell? And the roller coaster ride begins. And it's a longer story, but being ripped apart inside and rebuilt and reformed with spiritual energy coming in through these channels is an intense, painful process, but worth it. And at the end of all of this, with the realization as they come and the connection into a different understanding of humanity and what a human being even is, leads to more divide. So I went from divide within a 3-dimensional worldview to a divide within a 5-dimensional worldview. So the divide between all that exists is this world we're in, and that's it. Let's win within this world. Or all that exists is this holographic, infinite, expanding experience, and I have connection into it and know the secrets of the temple. And I'll show with you if you can get it. And I thought, well, that's not quite right, is it? Sounds like more of the same, doesn't it? And yes, it is. More of the same. How to live a sacred life without religion, rituals without complexity. As we get to stage 7 on the red pill pathway, is to realize the spiritual life, if it creates division and divide and specialness and otherness, and I know and you don't, for me personally, not for me. That's not going to work. And religion doesn't work for me either. But I see it work for others. Where I live, neighbor, husband died, brain tumor, completely unexpected, great guy, 40-something, 2 little kids. She's part of a evangelical religious tradition that makes no sense to me at all, that helped her. Still does. And there's other stories like this. Does it work for no, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't need that. And I don't need the spiritual life either. Learning more about spirit, which is energy coming into my body, waking me up, teaching me, allowing that to come into my body, led to no longer wanting to be spiritual, no longer wanting to do that, but rather bring spirit into my daily, formerly boring, mundane life and bring that out into the world in the form of a destiny, a purpose, an interconnected purpose from vision and imagination based on who I am, who and what I am, as I perceive that, which I cannot explain to anyone else because it's a purely subjective experience and can't be explained. And anyone who is in the industry, spiritual industry, can could explain that. um, and there's plenty of places you can go read about it. I would focus on people who actually know what they're talking about versus those who want to know what they're talking about and haven't quite gotten there yet. Um, David Hawkins is a good one. Great, Greg Braden, there's another good one. Richard Rudd, he's another good one. So if you want a blueprint at a very profound level, we have plenty of them for all kinds of different purposes and niche specialties of people who know what they're doing. You want to get karma? You want to work on your karma? Sadhguru is pretty good. He gets karma. Wrote a good book about it called Karma. He's a karma expert. I'm not going to talk about karma. I have a perspective on karma, and it's part of my program. But I am definitely not going to become an expert in karma. We already got one. When this happens, in other words, becoming ordinary, utterly ordinary with a purpose, your elevated consciousness no longer matters because it's not the point of it in the first place. That's what I learned. The point is being the change in the world, which means I've changed. I will be that in the world, regardless of consequences. And I will not compromise on who I am or what I say because it'll make someone else uncomfortable. That's the change. Now, nothing feels or seems ordinary. The local ordinary feels sacred, unless I decide to become special again, which I do all the time. I want it to be my way, and I want you to wake up and do what I want you to do because I get it. Now, I just screwed myself with those thoughts. And becoming self-aware as that happens and saying, no, no, I'm not going to attach to those thought streams. I'm going to let that go. And then ask myself, why is that happening? I thought I was through that. And see, okay, now it gets into the emotion plane. It gets into the physical plane. What's in that? What's the grit that's there that allows me to evolve back into ordinariness, which feels pretty special. In other words, it feels sacred. When I dropped the spiritual practices, began to live fully in the world, and integrated my business into it, it worked. Defined by how I feel about it, what I see, and what I know. If you show others this and they can't see it, their answer will be to themselves, what are you talking about? And my answer was, I'll show you. That doesn't work. I tried. What does work is refining and honing my own consciousness. That works. Worked. Working. However you want to look at it. For me, it's about why am I here? What is my product as an entrepreneur? And who is it for and why does it matter? And allowing that to happen naturally and organically is the spiritual development process through bringing that energetically into the world of form in a concrete way that's useful and contributes to something that I can never and will never and cannot explain or understand at all. The realization of got no idea is where the freedom comes. And being safe in that is part of the work of saying, hey, if I can't prove this to someone else, what does that mean for me? How do I keep going? If I'm in that phase of the first red pill movie where I'm learning kung fu from Bruce Lee. Yeah, happened. And I feel like I want to do this all the time. And the answer is, hey, you got work to do, buddy. You got to make money. You got a family. You've got to take the garbage out. There's other people around you depending on you. And you need to make money for them and yourself. And that's the work. And thank God that was there, or I would have drifted off into outer space. It feels great. Why not? At a certain point, life in a hut or wandering the earth gets old. And I'm old. Don't feel old, but that's not what's going to happen. How do you integrate spirit into the world in the form of a successful enterprise, whatever that means? And that's what I want to talk about. And I call the approach flexible founder mode because we need a new approach because the approaches we've got is not working. So the idea of how do you do it on your own terms cannot come from me without having experienced enough of it to be an expert enough in the struggle of that. And that's what I wanted, but I didn't want that to be my destiny. I wanted my destiny to be something else. And not to have to talk about business anymore or business development or entrepreneur stuff or I didn't want any. I was done. Like, no, I'm not done. You went through all that pain over many years for a reason. It's about being, not becoming at a certain point when because you've done it enough and you're an expert in it. That's your thing. That's what we need from you. Getting less distracted by confusion becomes important. And for me, the chaos of what I started thinking of is technology founder mode. And the epitome of that is Mark Andreessen, and even wrote a manifesto. And I can't get distracted by that, but I need to know what's going on. And I need to provide an alternative, not oppose it, because I don't care, but provide an alternative to people who don't want any part of that. And the other part is what I'm calling financial founder mode. That's the private equity money or the bank, Andreessen Horowitz is part of it. It's all interconnected. There's like 1,000 variations of this stuff that for me is not part of what I want to be doing. I don't want any part of it. I look at it as, oh, sorry, it didn't work. Let's do something else now. They're like, well, it's working great. Okay, good luck. Have fun. But I need to know what they're doing. You need to know what they're doing because they have an impact around you because you can see the business opportunities they're causing or they're creating for you as an entrepreneur or a coach or a service provider making your own way. A lot of business opportunities from technology founder mode and financial founder mode. And then the latest is what I started thinking of as popularity founder mode. And I thought that started with Paris Hilton, and Michael Jordan was the duality. So Michael Jordan was, I have an accomplishment. And Nike and Gatorade were like, yeah, let's use this, wings on the feet. And Michael got a lot of the money. Like, damn it, way to go. We're past the Ray Charles fight and the Elvis era. Like, improvement. And then on the other side, the Paris Hilton of, I figured out how to make this work, and they believe me. And I know it's an act, but they don't. Well, that worked too. There's a ramification of that. There's a consequence of that. Sticks. And then Kim Kardashian. So, and there, it's not all female or male. Like it's nothing to do with it. It's a duality there. This one elevates, got somewhere. This one feels like what we're doing now. So now, without an accomplishment, becoming popularity founder mode without even a product, because the product's built on a technology platform from people who've embraced technology founder mode and financial founder mode to fund their endless expansion in the technology, is considered a product in a company. They have a company. They don't have a product. They don't own their product. So, plus the product is popularity. No, thank you. How do I not compete against that? How do I find opportunities in that with flexible founder mode? That's what I'm doing. And what I realized recently is the local is overlooked. And I spent my entire life wandering around local communities, either selling people insurance, business insurance, clothes. I had a clothing distribution company with a 15-state territory. I've walked into every shopping mall, storefront, downtown in the Midwest. And then I traveled all around the country doing it too, in headquarters, corporate headquarters, when I sold marketing communication services. So I'm like, I've been in all these places, and then I've lived globally because I had the ability in my 20s to live as a local in a lot of different countries, mostly Latin countries, because it's the best lifestyle. What can you say? Mexico, France, Chile, Spain, Italy. They got it figured out. They don't know how to pay for it, but they found a way. So being able to make cool local work is the key to it, to me personally. And I have an understanding of the interrelationship between the purpose, passion, business, and the money part. There's absolutely no way I could do this by myself. It's impossible. And that's why I look at Red Pill Pathways, my contribution to the entrepreneur experience business, which is a C corporation. Red Pill Pathway, an S corporation, which is called a pass-through corporation. That money passes right through to me. C corporation, it works a little different. And that's 36 people, best in class. You have to be good, or you can't teach. You can be part of it. Anybody can be part of it. The local factor eluded me until recently, because I didn't ever want to go to another networking event again, whether it was online or in person, ever, ever again. And I wanted to escape from social media too, but I can't because I like it. And I like the local networking too. And I forgot. And I started again. And I went to an event last night, and it's good. It was good. It was amazing. It was amazing. And it's because I'm different, because now I'm not there trying to get people to buy from me, which is what I spent my whole life doing, having to go to these things because I needed to make a living. Now I need to make a living, but I'm not trying to. That's the spiritual part. It's trust. What am I trusting? In life, the flow of life. I'm trusting in the flow of life as I'm connecting into it deeper and deeper and deeper. So I can do these things to support the expansion of local expertise in a community of people who know what they're doing. Best plumbers, best mechanics. This is what I'm doing. I'm having meetings every day. I'm like, wow, you actually know how to run a auto mechanic business, and you know how cars work, and you know why. Oh, I'm not going to go after them. You got to beat people in the market. That's what you got to do. And you know why. Don't go to that HVAC company that sold out to private equity with the cool vans. All the good plumbers went over here and retired. So it's like, here's a good plumber. This woman is a chiropractor that doesn't wreck your body. She understands how to use energy tuning to set the body in the right direction. And she did a demo. And there's another guy there who knows how to sell cool, expensive glass. These $1,000 glasses. It's ridiculous. And he could get these things for me for, I bet, without insurance, better, and they'd fit because he knows how to make them fit. And he doesn't have all the overhead of a Warby Parker or a Lens Crafters that's not going to do it very well. And he could do it locally. And I was like, yeah, you meet in the co-working space. And I'm listening to him talk, and I was like, I would never buy a pair of glasses ever again from anyone else. And everyone else in the room felt the same way. I think there were 20 people there. And it was almost like applause, just way to go, buddy. Why aren't you a $50 million company? Why does Warby Parker have all this money given to them? And there's a great founder story, and it's in the mall. And it's cool, and it's busy, and the glasses aren't right. They're not going to be right at the end of the day for most people. They're trying really hard. It's not going to be right. And you got to deal with insurance. Lens Crafters, 1-800-EYES, all that stuff. I remember when all that stuff was starting. For everyone in the system, it's a system problem. I'm sure there's decent people who founded these companies and work in them and are trying to make them well. Great, I've always, but we have a systems problem. It's a problem with Starbucks too. And I don't want to oppose it. It would be better if they stabilize these companies. It'll stabilize local real estate markets. It will help. There's a purpose for everything that's there. And we need mid and stuff that cranks through fast. You can get your coffee, get out. All the retired people can hang out there like my dad did at Starbucks and talk to the baristas. It's fine. They won't make as much money though. Yeah, they will. They'll make tons of money. So there's a reason for all these things. They should find their niche. It should people who are working hard on their laptops or people who have nothing to do. Make it a community center. Like the library was. Now the libraries are filled with homeless people. That happened years ago in Chicago. Because that's where the internet was, right? So it's like everything seems to have a place. It's like know who you are and what your place is and fit into it and leave the rest of it to somebody else. So the cool coffee shop environments, I go to cool coffee shop environments every day. And I have a cool co-working space environment now too, which is built into a network of other ones. WeWork could never do that. They didn't. They talked about it. And people throw money at those people. The Willy Wonkas with the big visions get all the money. Technology founder mode and financial founder mode and now influencer founder mode. The money's going to follow the shiny object. How do you compete against that if you're better at what you do? Let's do it. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Flexible founder mode is how to do it on your terms, not their terms, your terms. It's about being, not becoming. It's about claiming it and saying, this guy, man, this guy, he just knows. It's like, buy glasses for me. You'll get them, it'll be right. They'll fit your face. You won't look bad. It'll be easy. It'll be fun. The lens prescription is going to be correct. I know how to work with an optometrist, and if the optometrist is working for me, they're going to be good at it. And I'll make your special color if you want. You want orange? You want a brand because you're an online influencer? I'll make you orange glasses. They'll be awesome. I'm buying from you. So how do those people become visible everywhere? Starts locally, but we can do it globally too online. The systems are free and cheap. You don't need a lot of money to do this anymore. That's why this is so easy. It's not easy, but it's possible. Getting less distracted by confusion. The confusion in my mind that tells me I can't compete against Amazon is insane. Of course you can compete against Amazon. If you give Amazon your best stuff, they're going to steal it. They're stealing your idea. I call this creative product appropriation. All of them. Amazon in particular. They're going to appropriate your creative product because they're taking your data. So if the category you're in explodes and sells, or your product, and you innovate and you give that to Amazon and their marketplace, they're going to copy it. They have your data. They're going to come out with their own version. Or if they don't, and they give that to you and they focus on you because they're like, it's not worth our money, we'll write off you. They're extracting your money instead of taking their 10% or 5% or 3% or whatever you decide to give them. That's what's got to change. So those systems make tons of money at scale. The Amazon system, they don't have to make a big profit margin. The Walmart system, which is a high quality, I think Walmart's a higher quality system than the Amazon system, which is a leaky bucket from what I can tell. I think Walmart's a tight company that really knows what they're doing and is very focused. I think Amazon's a mess. Personally, that's what I see. Google, total mess. Leaky bucket, ad network still. It's a mess. Nobody wants to use it anymore. They'd rather go to ChatGPT and ask, what do I buy for this? And that will work better because that's all the Google data anyways, but there's a lot of marketing stuff in there. So how do you fit into that? Visibility. I met a guy last night. He has a local TV network. Pandemic entrepreneur. Yeah, think about it. You can have your own. I have a program. Look, I'm right here. Nobody's watching it. They will. That's the thing. You make it good. You find your niche. You don't need 5 million people watching you. You don't need to be popular. You need the right people. And over time, and then as you bond together, people want to be in with you because you know what you're talking about. My wife's spouse partner, sorry, get it all right. Wife, spouse, partner, depending what generation you are. Her mentor is a lineage holder of a Chinese energetic Taoist healing tradition that comes from before the Cultural Revolution in China. And then he created his own forms of Qigong and studied with shamans in the United States. He lives in rural Missouri. And the National Qigong Association wouldn't put his video on their website because he's not famous enough, or he wouldn't show it to him first. And they know him. He knows what he's doing. Watch those people start to win in the marketplace right now because everyone else is getting sick of people who don't know what they're doing winning. Because the other side of that is bad energy, an energy healer putting bad energy into you, going to a massage place where they don't know how to clear the energy body. They don't even understand it. He understands it. He's not working on himself. He's there for years and years and years. When people have access to that, they want to be in it. They want to be a part of it. In the past, this used to be either free, so everyone was broke, helping each other, or so wealthy that they kept everybody out. It was either one or the other. I think today we don't have to suffer that. And flexible founder mode works because it's not my method. It's based on laws and principles that have always worked. So it's how do you do it based on laws and principles that work. And one law and principle that works in branding is eventually what works is remembered. The brand, think about it, branded. into my skin, my eye with I've carved that into my forearm with a knife. That's when you earn it. And you hang out with other people in the same areas, local and global. We can come together globally online off the ad networks, but also use them to get more people into our systems, and then do things locally with the best people, but bring everybody else into it who wants to. When people who know what they're talking about are in charge, other people can rise up to that.